All right, so let's dive into this CallRail stuff. You sent over some interesting articles and research, and I got to admit that customer quote about it being the best $100 ever spent definitely got my attention. It seems like you're looking into whether CallRail can really help businesses track their marketing to see what's actually working.
Right. Absolutely. And it's fascinating how CallRail goes beyond just call tracking.
Yeah.
We're talking texts, forms, online chats. It's like having this complete view of how customers interact with a business, not just whether they clicked an ad or not.
Okay, so instead of just knowing that someone clicked,
Yeah.
you're saying CallRail can actually show if they called,
Yeah.
filled out a form,
Right.
or even started like a live chat right there on the website. That seems like a pretty big deal for businesses.
Yeah.
Especially those trying to figure out what parts of their marketing are actually leading to
MAO.
real engagement.
Yeah, it really is. Think about it. A click is just a click, but those other actions, like a call, a form, a chat, those show a higher level of intent from the customer. And CallRail lets businesses see exactly which marketing channels are driving those actions.
So it's not just about, you know, vanity metrics like impressions or clicks. It's about understanding what's bringing in those leads, the ones most likely to become actual customers.
Exactly. And that's where optimizing spending comes in. CallRail gives businesses the hard data to see which campaigns are generating the most high-intent leads so they can put their marketing dollars where they'll have the biggest impact.
That makes a lot of sense. You know, I was looking at some of the benefits that CallRail talks about on their site, and it's not just about optimizing spending. They also talk about delivering personalized experiences and attracting high-quality leads. But how does CallRail actually help personalize those experiences? What kind of data makes that possible?
Well, it's all about understanding where the lead is coming from and what they've interacted with before they reach out. Let's say someone finds a business through a Google ad. That focuses on, let's say, eco-friendly products. CallRail can track that, so when that person calls, the business knows right away, okay, this is someone interested in sustainability, and they can tailor the conversation accordingly.
So it's like giving the business a cheat sheet about the customer's interest before they even pick up the phone. No more generic sales pitches. They can actually cater the conversation to each person.
Right, and that level of personalization can make a huge difference in converting leads into customers. And it ties into attracting those high-quality leads. When your marketing is targeted and relevant, you attract people who are genuinely interested in what you offer.
Yeah, seems like that could transform the whole sales process. But you know me, I'm always a bit skeptical of marketing hype. What I find really convincing are real-life stories, those customer testimonials. Did you come across any in your research?
Oh yeah, there were quite a few, and they were pretty striking. One that stood out to me was from Jonathan Herrera. He runs a small business, and he said that CallRail was the best $100 he's ever spent on marketing, which is a pretty bold statement.
That is a strong endorsement.
Yeah.
Especially coming from a small business owner. You know, they have to be careful with their budget. Did any others stand out to you? Any that highlighted how impactful CallRail could be?
Definitely. Adriana Ness, she runs a marketing agency, and she talked about how much time CallRail saves her. She used to spend hours manually going through leads for her clients, trying to figure out, who was worth pursuing and all that. Now CallRail does a lot of that heavy lifting for her.
Interesting. So it's not just about attracting better leads. It's also about freeing up time for business owners and marketers so they can actually focus on, you know, building those relationships and closing deals rather than getting bogged down in data analysis.
Exactly. And there was another one from Vlad Kandibovich. He mentioned that CallRail lets him spend less time monitoring calls and more time actually serving his customers. That shift in focus, that can make a huge difference for any business.
Okay. So we've talked about how CallRail tracks interactions beyond calls,
Yeah.
how it helps personalize those interactions, and even how it saves businesses time and money. But there was something else that really stood out to me in the material. CallRail's AI-powered call analysis, this premium conversation intelligence. That seems like it takes things to a whole other level.
Oh, it does. We're talking about AI that actually listens to customer conversations and then pulls out valuable insights. It's like having a virtual assistant who can tell you what's working and what's not in your sales and service calls.
Wait, so instead of listening to hours of calls, businesses can just get this AI to analyze them and pull out the key points. What kind of insights are we talking about?
Well, it can identify patterns in customer questions, their objections, even positive feedback. So you could see, for example, if there's a common question that keeps coming up. Maybe there's something missing from your website or marketing materials, or you might find out that a certain sales script is really effective.
That's wild. So it's not just about tracking leads. It's about using AI to actually improve the quality of conversations and to get a deeper understanding of what customers are thinking and feeling.
Precisely. And this goes way beyond just simple keyword spotting. Premium conversation intelligence can actually analyze the sentiment and the tone of the conversation, so businesses can get a much richer understanding of how their customers are responding.
Okay, I gotta admit, this is blowing my mind a little. It really feels like a total game changer for businesses. But I'm also thinking about the practical side of things. How do businesses integrate CallRail into their current setup? It seems like there are a lot of moving pieces here.
That's a great question, and that's actually one of CallRail's strengths. It integrates with over 700 other marketing tools.
Wow, over 700.
Yep. So if you're already using a CRM email marketing platform or any number of other tools, chances are you can connect them to CallRail.
So instead of having all this data siloed in different platforms, businesses can get this complete, unified view of their marketing performance all in one place. That seems incredibly valuable for making smart decisions.
Absolutely. And for someone like yourself, who's clearly interested in maximizing efficiency and getting the most out of technology, this level of integration is a game changer. It's all about breaking down those data silos and getting that holistic view of the customer journey.
It does seem like CallRail could be that one-stop shop for businesses that really want to step up their marketing game. But is there anything that makes you hesitant about this whole setup? Like, is there a downside to relying so much on this kind of data?
That's a really important question, and it's definitely one that businesses should think about. While CallRail can be super powerful, it's crucial to remember data is only one piece of the puzzle. It's not like some magic bullet, you know? It won't automatically solve all your marketing challenges.
I see. So it's not about blindly following the data, but using it to inform your decisions and guide your strategy.
Exactly. There's always that risk of getting too caught up in the numbers and then losing sight of the human element. Like CallRail might tell you that a certain type of customer is most likely to buy. But that doesn't mean you should ignore everyone else.
Right. It's about finding that balance between data-driven insights and good old-fashioned human intuition.
Absolutely. And it's important to remember data can be interpreted in different ways. What works for one business might not work for another, even if the data seems to suggest otherwise. Context is key.
So CallRail gives you the data, but it's up to the business to actually interpret it and apply it in a way that makes sense for them.
Right. It's a tool, not a solution. And like any tool, it can be used effectively or ineffectively.
Thinking back to that quote about CallRail being the best $100 ever spent, it makes you wonder, how did businesses even navigate marketing before these tools came along? Was it all just gut feeling and guesswork?
Well, it definitely wasn't as data-driven as it is today. Businesses relied more on traditional metrics like website traffic or advertising impressions, which, as we've discussed, don't always tell the whole story.
It seems like CallRail and tools like it are really changing the game when it comes to understanding the customer journey and making better decisions. But what do you think sets CallRail apart? What makes it so impactful?
For me, it's the combination of comprehensiveness and accessibility. CallRail is tracking pretty much every customer touchpoint, from calls to chats, and it presents that data in a way that's easy to understand and to use.
So it's not just for data scientists then. Any business owner can use it to get valuable insights and make smarter decisions.
Exactly. And I think that's key for any software, especially one aimed at busy business owners. They need solutions, not more headaches.
Speaking of headaches, we've been talking a lot about the good stuff, but are there any potential challenges with CallRail? Any roadblocks that businesses might run into?
One challenge could be data accuracy. If the tracking's not set up right, you could end up with bad data, which leads to bad decisions.
So it's not just plug and play then. You need to put in some effort up front to make sure everything is working correctly.
Right. It's important to understand how the platform works and make sure all your tracking is accurate and consistent.
Makes sense. Garbage in, garbage out, right? Any other potential pitfalls?
Another thing to consider is data privacy. CallRail collects a lot of customer data, so you have to make sure you're handling it responsibly and following all the privacy regulations.
Good point. Data privacy is so important these days. Businesses need to be very careful about how they collect, store, and use that data.
Absolutely. It's not just about ethics, it's about the law. Businesses need to stay up to date on the latest regulations and make sure they're using CallRail in a way that respects privacy.
Okay, so we've talked about data accuracy, privacy considerations, and not getting too lost in the numbers. But what stands out to you as the most impactful thing about CallRail?
For me, It's the potential to really change how businesses interact with customers. It's not just about reacting to inquiries anymore. It's about understanding their needs, anticipating their questions, and creating truly personalized
So
experiences.
it's not just about marketing or sales. It's about building stronger relationships with customers.
Exactly. And that's what's exciting about CallRail. It's not just a tool for optimizing campaigns, it's a tool for optimizing relationships.
Yeah, it really seems like we're moving away from those days
Hmm.
of mass marketing and generic messaging. With tools like CallRail,
Mm.
businesses can actually start having those one-on-one conversations
Mm.
that build real connections,
Yeah.
and loyalty.
And it's not just about being more personal, it's about being more effective. When you really understand your customers,
Mm.
you can tailor your marketing and sales in a way that really connects with them.
I'm thinking about all the businesses out there
Yeah.
that are still struggling to see results from their marketing. It seems like CallRail could be huge for them, giving them that data
Hmm.
to see what's actually working.
Absolutely. And as AI and machine learning keep getting better, we can expect even more from tools like CallRail. We might even get to a point where businesses can actually predict what customers need before they even know it themselves.
That's a really interesting thought. It's like predicting the future of customer interactions. Do you think that's where things are going, that level of personalization and anticipation?
I think it's definitely possible. We're already seeing businesses using AI to personalize websites, product recommendations, even email marketing. So it's not that crazy to think that same level of personalization could happen with phone calls and chats.
This whole conversation has really got me thinking. With data becoming so important in marketing, how do you think a tool like CallRail could change things in the future? How will businesses approach customer interactions differently?
That's the big question. And it's something every business should be thinking about. I think we'll see a shift from reactive customer service to proactive engagement. So instead of waiting for customers to come to them with problems, businesses will use data to anticipate those needs and offer solutions before the customer even realizes they have a problem.
So it's like flipping the script on customer service. Instead of being problem solvers, businesses become problem preventers.
Exactly. And I think that's going to lead to much happier customers. When businesses are proactive and attentive, it builds trust and loyalty.
It sounds like a win-win. Better results for businesses
Yeah.
and happier customers.
Exactly. And with tools like CallRail, businesses can make that happen. They have the data to understand their customers and use that data to create amazing experiences that build lasting relationships.
So for our listener,
Hmm.
who's been with us on this deep dive into CallRail, the message is clear. It's not just about tracking calls anymore. It's about understanding the entire customer journey and using that knowledge to create a better experience.
Absolutely. It's about moving beyond those vanity metrics and focusing on the conversations that really matter, the ones that lead to sales and loyal customers.
Well, I think we've covered a lot today, from the basics of call tracking to the incredible potential of AI. If you're interested in learning more about CallRail, I definitely recommend checking out their website or taking advantage of their free trial.
It's a chance to see how powerful data can be for your marketing and customer relationships.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into CallRail. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those great questions.